YouTube, I want to share with you there's no such thing as no Christian rap. It does not exist. It's about having a relationship with Jesus Christ. I want to share Acts 1:8. You can't be a Christ follower if you don't have the Holy Spirit. It's not about making a gospel album. It's not about that. If you're not filled with the Holy Spirit and God haven't set you free, you can't share nothing if you haven't given your life to Christ. So it's not about just making a gospel album. I want to share Acts 1:8. But when you receive power of the Holy Spirit come up on you, you will be my witness in Judea and all of Judea and Samaria. So when you receive God's Holy Spirit, when you're saved, then you can share your testimony. But it's not about just making a gospel album. Not everybody who say Lord, Lord, Lord is living for Jesus. So if you haven't been filled with the Holy Spirit, Acts 1:8, you can't share about Jesus because you have to be filled with God's Holy Spirit. So those that you hear that are using their gift to glorify the Lord, they've been saved. They're filled with the Holy Spirit. If you're not filled with the Holy Spirit and born again, you can't share what God done in you. You got to have the Holy Spirit of God in you. And you got to surrender your life over to Christ. It's not about making a gospel album. You can't share nothing if God haven't worked in your heart, if you haven't given your life to Christ. And you can't be a witness for Jesus if the Holy Spirit don't live on the inside of you, the same power that raised Jesus from the dead. It's not about just making a gospel album. Those that you see that are saved, that are sharing their testimony, they're not rapping. They're sharing what God brought them through. You can only share that when you give your life to Christ. It's not about just making no gospel album. A lot of people don't know what the gospel is. There's no such thing as no gospel legends. That's the world's gospel. We got to go by God's gospel. You got to look in here and find what the gospel is. But if you haven't received God's Holy Spirit, Acts 1:8, you can't be a witness for Jesus. So you can't share nothing. If you're not filled with God's Holy Spirit, there's nothing to share. If you haven't let the Holy Spirit of God live on the inside of you, Acts 1:8, you got to be filled with God's Holy Spirit to be his witness. It's not about just making a gospel album. It's not about just rapping about Jesus. It's not about that. When God set you free, you want to share what God done in you, but you can't share that if you haven't received God's Holy Spirit and if you haven't surrendered your life over to him. Peace out. God bless you.